All right, thank you so much. Welcome to another episode of the Sales Game Changers podcast. And Zeev Wexler, this is special because it is the first episode of a new sub-brand of the Sales Game Changers podcast. It's the AI and Selling Effectiveness podcast. And I'm excited. My name is Fred Diamond. Of course, I'm the founder of the Institute for Effective Professional Selling. Some of you might have known us as the Institute for Excellence in Sales. We rebranded on May 1st, and we're really focusing on helping B2B and B2G sales enterprises better engage teams, elevate leaders, and empower success. So, Zeev, it's all about effectiveness. I'm excited. You and I are starting a new show. It's called the AI and Selling Effectiveness podcast. By the way, my partner in this is Zeev Wexler with Viacry. Zev, good to see you. I'm excited for this. We had our IEPS. I still have to train myself. We had the IEPS 15th annual award event on May 1st. We gave out our very first AI for Sales Excellence awards. Our two initial recipients were General Assembly and CVent. Congratulations to them. We did a show with some of the marketing and sales leaders at General Assembly. You can find that on salesgamechangerspodcast.com. You can find every past episode. We're well over 750 Zev Sales Game Changers podcast episodes. As a matter of fact, I've even interviewed you a number of times. So if you go to Sales Game Changers podcast 4 times,
Episode
remember
number 4. I'm like,
episode
I was
way
one
early
of
in the
the
day when I went to do
originals.
yep when I did the interviews in person in Alexandria, Virginia. We're doing today's interview on May of 2025. The show's going live in June. We're going to be publishing this particular podcast every other Monday, and all we're going to be talking about is AI and selling effectiveness and what great companies are doing, what they should be doing. The award that we gave out that you, Viacry, your company, kindly sponsored, we're going to be giving out those awards ongoing. It's not just going to be once a year at the IEPS award event. So we're going to give companies that are really doing great things in the selling professional selling process the opportunity to get that award throughout the year. All right. So Zev, I'm excited. You're killing it as it relates to AI and sales. And I've been following you. I mean, I've known you for a long time, but I've been following your journey about what you're doing with Viacry, and you're out there speaking all over the place. Every time I talk to you, you're in California or, New York or Virginia, Washington, D.C., Maryland, wherever it might be, Florida, of course. And you're just on the leading edge of this. And one thing that you and I talked about is not everybody is killing it. Matter of fact, we were hoping to give out 5 awards at the IEPS Sales Excellence Awards. We wound up giving out 2 because a lot of companies, we didn't want to just give out an award, give out an award. A lot of companies just weren't cutting it. So Zev, good to see you. I'm excited about this. We're going to be talking about some offerings that we're making available to people to help them really get better utilizing AI in the selling process, the B2B professional selling process. Introduce the audience for people who don't know you. Tell us what Viacry does. Tell us a little bit about where you are right now.
Sounds good. So, everybody, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm Zev Wexler. Me and Fred go back many years, and I'm a great fan of what Fred does for the selling community. I'm a proclaimed salesperson. I love sales, but I've been in technology for my entire life. And in the past 6 years, I've been deep into AI. I've been in AI before Open AI, before it was cool to be in AI, right? Before ChatGPT came into the scene, I was trying to sell AI when people were actually looking at me funny. But ladies and gentlemen, AI is the biggest technological change we've ever seen. Okay. If I would tell you about the internet a few years before the internet, if I would tell you about the smartphone before everybody had one, I'm sure you would kind of pivot a little bit and do things differently. AI is like the internet times the smartphone. Everything is going to change with AI. And we're going to talk about to do or not to do. But one thing I want to kind of bring out there, AI is not ChatGPT. Okay. A lot of us use ChatGPT, which is great. I love ChatGPT. I use it myself all the time, but that is not AI. What we do in Viacry is we help companies get a roadmap to where they are today to where they should be with AI. I come from the school that if you don't know where you're going, you're probably not going to get there.
Hmm.
And tools are great and shiny objects are awesome, but I will trust a great operator with a plan than somebody that has no idea what he's doing with the best technology in the world. So I've been developing AI tools for about 6 years. And I've spent a lot of time and a lot of money developing AI tools for solutions I thought people needed. And some of the biggest ones are in sales. Now, what I understood is if an organization doesn't have a roadmap, no tool is going to help. And it's actually opening up to the wild, wild west. So I want to tell everybody out there, you have a Salesforce, they're using ChatGPT. They're using sometimes the Claudes or the Geminis or the tools that are out there. But those tools don't work for you and your company. Those tools work for those companies. And your people are putting sensitive information into those tools. And one of the things my salespeople have been using with ChatGPT is they've been searching the name of your company and they're getting everything you're putting into ChatGPT. So we need a plan, ladies and gentlemen. And Fred and I are here to help you get a plan. Selling is amazing and important. We all move by sales. If it's not sold, nothing moves. And AI is a huge part of it, but it needs to be strategic and not tactical.
I like the way
So
you said, yeah, I like the way you said the Wild West. And a lot of people do equate AI with a sales tool. And, oh, wow, I use ChatGPT. That means I'm an expert now and I'm getting good at prompts and someone just certified me and things along that way, if you will. But, let's talk for about 5, 10 minutes here about the state of AI and selling effectiveness. Again, I mentioned we had the IEPS award event. We had our first
mhm,
AI for Sales Excellence Awards. We got a bunch of nominations, but when we submitted the nominations to the judging, it was like there ain't a whole lot there, and there
no,
wasn't a whole lot of um, corporate direction, thoughtful corporate direction, right?
no.
So let's talk. Where are we? You mentioned Wild West. What's the state of AI and selling effectiveness?
So in selling effectiveness, I see three levels to this. Almost all of us, up to like 95%, are in level one. And
Mm,
level one is the Wild West. Okay. Level one is every salesperson using any tool they think, put some stuff into it, get things back, and now they're using AI for selling effectiveness. That is better than nothing, I guess, or maybe not sometimes,
mm,
but it's level one. And 95%, even the big companies out there, even the companies that produce AI themselves, okay, it didn't go down to the selling teams.
mm,
So level one is where 95%, and that's just using all kinds of things off the shelf. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and I think I mentioned this to you before on a private conversation. In the selling world today, mediocre is free. In the
mm,
business world today, mediocre is free. It's never been like that before. Fred, you and I have been in business for a long time. But today, mediocre is free. And
mm,
you do not want to be mediocre. And every off-the-shelf tool by design is mediocre at best. Okay, so that is level one, just off the shelf tools, name it whatever you want. Some of them are great, some of them are less, but it's complete tactics with no strategy and the wild, wild west. And what I want to tell people is you don't understand the risk of running the wild west within your selling teams, within your selling departments. It is insane to put this type of information into these third party tools and expect good stuff to come of it. These third party tools are here for our data. They're
mm.
good companies, but their model is to take our data. So if you use ChatGPT for everything, I'm sorry, but you're shooting yourself in the leg. So then comes level two. Level two is where, let's say, maybe 4 to 5% of the companies are at. And that is strategic customization of data, because it all starts with data. If you don't have your data set up, then you're not working it right. So some customization and then utilization of some of these third-party tools, but with an agreement to control the data, with some kind of protections and guidelines over it. So it's a knowledge base that you build, but you built it within a different within a different cloud, a different company. So supposedly it's protected, but we all know in cyber and in technology that nothing is fully protected. But again, level two is great. And the companies that are doing level 2 right now are moving forward. And those were some of the companies that we gave awards to because they actually customize and create their own
Yes.
knowledge bases. And that's level 2. Level 3 is the holy grail.
Mm,
Very, very, very few companies are on there. And that means you basically put the artificial intelligence within your tech stack. Okay. Now it sounds very complicated to us. It's like, oh my God, how do we do that? It's not that complicated. Okay. There are so many incredible AIs that are open sourced that we can take the code. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes engineers, but then we can bring those things within our tech stacks, within our systems, sometimes our servers, sometimes our protected clouds, however we deal with data on a usual basis. And then we have our own AI that is not a software, but almost like an employee, Fred.
mm,
Okay. It's an employee that is our employee. It's loyal to us. It knows our history, our data, our leadership, our values. And it has a loop that gets better. It learns us all the time. And, we talked about ChatGPT, but LLMs in general are this much of the world of AI. Large language models are basically a big set of data that then you ask
mm,
the database what to do. Now, most of us use AI as salespeople to write emails and to
mm,
answer comments on LinkedIn and all that stuff, which is great. I'm not saying it's not a good thing. The problem is when you do it on level 1, you lose all authenticity.
mm.
How many times you see stuff on LinkedIn today or on emails or on messages that you are clear that this is not a human wrote this and there's no way I'm reading this or definitely not answering.
Yeah.
It's
I want to ask you a question. So one of the common themes, one of the challenges right now is because of, if you think about the customer has access to these tools. So, even before ChatGPT, they could go to the internet and find everything they need to know about your company. We've heard stats like the customer is 57% down the road, so maybe even 70% down the road with finding your features, your specs, how you compare against the competition, even your direction. When I was at Apple and Compaq and companies like that, we would present to a customer over 2 days our product direction. Now the customer can go into any of the AI, LLM tools and type in what is Apple Computer's product strategy, and within 5, 10 seconds, it's going to pop out. So sales professionals, selling professionals, the ones who are part of the IEPS, they know that they need to bring more value than ever before to the customer. And it's not I mean, a small part of it is creating a really good email, right? Maybe even a really good LinkedIn post, but that's kind of marketing, right? So, how can, as part of this getting better, can companies use AI to help their sales professionals provide more value, not to the customers, but specific customers? You know what I'm saying? So, if I'm
I know
calling
what you're
on
saying.
Hilton or American Express, and a lot of sales professionals aren't there yet. They're not even close. Is that a way
Not
to
even
use
close.
AI to get better?
There is incredible ways to use AI to get better. And again, it comes for through closing data that's really important to you. Okay. If you go and actually take that data that you find from your clients and it's out there and actually close it in a data set and then ask that data, this is what this company is trying to do. Okay. Help me craft a sales proposal that will answer their pains. It's actually making life so much easier for us because everybody that puts stuff on not just Google, but ChatGPT, now we can get to that. So they're putting their pains on there. Use that to solve their pain. Just be smart about it. So, first of all, it comes with collecting the right data. Then it comes to closing it and then having your own model tell you, hey, this is their pains. This is what they're putting out there. What can I do as a selling professional to solve their problem? How can I bring an offering that matches what they're trying to solve? And we've
Yep.
never had that before, Fred.
Yeah, without even asking the silly question is tell me your pain, which is such a trite, unnecessary, because customers don't want to tell you their pain. They want you to come to them with solutions because they also know that things are out there and AI is the perfect tool or the perfect, technology to figure that out. And then you as the sales professional can bring value. So one of the other things that we're very excited about as part of the Institute for Effective Professional Selling, IEPS, is our Selling Essentials Marketplace. And a big part of the IES and now the IEPS, historically, we know all the sales tools. We know all the providers. We know the great speakers. We know the great service providers. We know the great training companies, et cetera. Selling organizations have come to us over the years looking for best of breed solutions so that they didn't have to do a dog and pony or go put out their own proposals to find a speaker or a training company or the right partner. So I'm excited to say that Viacry is an IEPS Selling Essentials Marketplace partner in the AI and sales excellence category, if you will. So when companies, and we've already had companies come to us looking for AI solutions, and we've been bringing you to them to solve their problems. And one of the exciting things, besides general consulting, et cetera, is an offering that we're calling the eval offering. So talk about that a little bit. What can companies get when they come to the IEPS? What is the eval program going to give them?
So you have such incredible clients that trust you and come to you for all their selling, professional selling and effective needs. So we basically asked them, what do you want? And they told us, we don't know. And then you and I together with Viacry came up with a solution. We need a game plan for how we make effective selling with AI. So throughout your amazing organization and your amazing clients, we started basically giving these evals, which we go into the company, we go into the sales department, and we figure out what they need to do, where are the risks, where are the benefits, where time can be saved, and where more opportunities of revenue can be uncovered. In addition to that, where we can take the data of what they're doing and telling them scientifically where they should spend their time. Okay. Salespeople, and I'm a proud salesperson, sometimes just like to have meetings and have to spend time with people that want to spend time with them. The question is it driving the right revenue? Okay. So we are building a map. We're coming into companies and we're telling them for the next 12 to 24 months, you need to do A, B, C, and then D to maximize the efficiency of selling through AI. And if you don't have a plan, my friend, you're not going anywhere. So we're giving a plan, and then whatever tools necessary, we either use them or build them for those companies. And the goal is to elevate them to level 3. Okay. Of course, you can't jump from 0 to 3. You got to go from, well, 1 we're skipping, but 2 to 3. But that's where your organization is so important. Helping guide the light. It's the Wild West. Nobody knows what they're doing, and people don't like to feel not smart. Okay. I'm not going to say the
Absolutely.
word.
So I'm very excited again. Viacry is part of the IEPS Selling Essentials Marketplace. We have an offering for companies out there who are looking to get, like you just said, to tier two to tier three. And the reality is they got to get there because every company is challenged right now with, and forget about macro related issues, but on a micro related issue, not forget about them, but we'll address them in a different place. Companies are challenged, and selling professionals are challenged with bringing true value to the customer. The customer doesn't need you if you're not helping them get to where they need to go, not just helping their customers, but helping their customers' customers. It's gotten challenging since the pandemic for a whole bunch of different reasons. AI is now available. Implementing it as a tier two, tier three process is something that's going to help you help your customers get value, which in turn is going to help your company drive the revenue that it needs. That is part of the selling organization. All right, Zev, one final thought you want to impart upon us once again.
Yes,
We're going to
I'm,
be
I'm
doing
gonna
we're going to be
I'm
doing this
gonna be a little bit controversial. Sorry, go ahead.
we're going to be doing this podcast every other Monday. We're going to bring it on guests if need be, but we're going to be hitting some of these critical things that companies need to do to get to tier three and tier two. So my apologies for cutting off. Give us a final thought here.
Companies, sales department, and salespeople, if you don't get with AI, you will be left aside. Okay. You don't want to become the people that people buy in spite of. Okay. You want to generate revenue. AI is not just for automating nonsense, AI is for reasoning. AI can process data better than any of us put together. There is a compute power behind what you're doing right now. Every one of you has a scientist next to them, a mathematician next to them, but you gotta put it in the right frames. So I'm challenging every sales department, sales leader, and salesperson out there. Understand that AI is going to take over. It's not going to take over your job, but somebody else that knows how to use it will take your client. So I'm not trying to scare anybody, but these 2 quarters coming up is the quarters to adapt to an AI strategy. And if you don't do it, I don't know what the future holds for you.
All right, it's a good way to summarize it. Okay, once again, you can find the transcript of this podcast and previous shows that we've done with Zeev Wexler at salesgamechangerspodcast.com. Double click on Wexler and you'll find that. Just want to remind people again, our new website, theiEPS.com, theiEPS.com. Click on the button that says Selling Essentials Marketplace, and you'll be able to get in touch with us and we'll work with you to solve these problems. All right, Zev, I'm excited. We got great things coming up. I want to thank everybody for listening to today's Sales Game Changers podcast.